What is up, beautiful people of YouTube? I hope you are doing well. If you're new to the channel, my name's Braden. I'm a mechanical engineer by day, financial minimalist by night, and in today's video, I'm going to react to a financial video on YouTube that I just came across from Daniel Inskeep, who is one half of the photography channel called Mango Street. If you're not familiar with it, it's a great channel. Check it out. This video is titled, How Much Money YouTube Pays Me, 1 million versus 24,000 subscribers. Let's jump in.
Hey everyone, my name is Daniel Inskeep, and in this video I'm going to compare how much I make on YouTube across my two YouTube channels in ad revenue. My main channel, Mango Street, has just over 1 million subscribers, and this channel here just broke 24,000. You may be surprised to see how they stack up.
I will guess before this video, I haven't seen this video at all, but I'm going to guess that his personal channel is making pretty comparable money to Mango Street. I don't really know the CPMs for photography channels, but I know his videos are primarily financial videos, and the CPM for those type of videos is through the roof. We'll find out.
So I'll get into revenue numbers in just a minute, I swear, but let me just give you a little bit of context. My wife and I started the Mango Street YouTube channel in January of 2017. And back then there weren't any viewership requirements to enable monetization. So right away we started making, well, pennies. Also, the entire concept of the channel was to make short, concise photography and filmmaking tutorials that don't waste your time, and thus many of them are not eligible for mid-roll ads. And so I think this also makes the YouTube algorithm not want to recommend our videos as often to viewers because there aren't mid-roll ads in them. Regardless, the channel still does well. So while we may not get an insane amount of views, over the lifetime of the channel, we have just about 50 million views. So let's head back into 2017 when we first started this channel and look at Mango Street's revenue. We have three main metrics that YouTube displays: our estimated revenue, the RPM, and the CPM. The estimated revenue is pretty self-explanatory. The RPM, or revenue per mile, tells creators how much they make per 1,000 views, regardless of whether those views are monetized or not. They take your estimated revenue and divide it by your total views for that period of time to get your RPM number. The CPM is the cost per 1,000 impressions, and it pretty much just tells you how much advertisers are willing to spend on that particular channel for 1,000 impressions. So the RPM takes into account YouTube's cut and just shows us our profit, and it also includes views that aren't monetized, so therefore that number is generally lower than the CPM.
This is actually super interesting to see for me because as someone who loves financial videos, people usually don't show you that, and I'm not monetized on this channel because I have like no subscribers, but it's cool to see that they give you both RPM, which is how much you're making per the views that you get, and CPM, which is what the advertisers are paying to show their ads to people that view your video.
So our first year, we earned $17,572.93. The average CPM was $5.56, and the RPM was $1.17.
I will say that this is more than I was expecting them to make the first year's, like 17,500, but I'm pretty sure their channel blew up pretty big as soon as they started making videos. Like they got 500,000 subscribers or something in the first year. I could be wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure that's right.
So this means we only made $1.17 per 1,000 views. And you may be thinking $17,000 in your first year on YouTube is pretty good. And it is, but we also did have incredible growth that year. We started with 0 subscribers and hit 500,000 in 12 months. And by October of that year, it was both mine and my wife's full-time job.
Boom. Pretty good guess, wasn't it? I heard them on a podcast earlier. I think it was with Sarah Dici. I'll link it in the description below if you want to check that out.
So thankfully, there are revenue streams other than AdSense that help us pay the bills. The most we made on one day in 2017 was in June. We earned $249.11. So in 2018, the revenue was surprisingly similar to that of 2017. We earned $17,516.22. So we actually earned $56.71 less our second year, during which our subscriber growth did slow down a little, but I also expected having so many more videos on the channel, we would still be getting a lot more views and therefore earning more money. But you can see that wasn't the case.
Yeah, that's super surprising to me as well, is that they basically made the same amount of money the first and second years, even though that their channel was still growing and they still had those subscribers before that probably watched their videos, but their RPM did go down even though the CPM was similar. Interesting to see.
In 2019, we earned $18,566.78. We also had a higher CPM rate of $7.39, and the RPM was $1.48. It looks like our biggest day in terms of revenue was on July 29th. We hit $166.45. So let's take a look at the lifetime earnings for this channel. So it's been over 3.5 years now, and we've earned about $67,000 in ad revenue, which comes out to roughly less than $1,500 per month. So
that's pretty low for two full-time YouTubers to live off for 3 years, almost $67,000. That's not very much at all. And I'm surprised that they're making so little, even though they have almost 1 million subscribers, I'm pretty sure.
It's interesting that by making more short form videos in this niche, not only are we limited in AdSense revenue because we don't have mid-rolls, but YouTube's whole algorithm is designed to keep you on the platform as long as possible. So there's less incentive for the algorithm to show you our videos when they're shorter and don't contain mid-rolls for YouTube to profit off of. But don't worry, we are fortunate to have long-term brand deals and one-off sponsorships. And so the AdSense generated is really just a nice bump in the bank account every month and not something that we rely on 100% to make rent.
It's good that he points out the sponsorships and other types of revenue, because the most important thing for people on YouTube is to diversify their income. This goes with any content creators or influencers. You always want to diversify your income so that you're not relying on one source, because if ad revenue tanked 1 month, they'd still have brand deals and probably affiliate links to go back on and make money as well that they can rely on.
And we made just a little over $3,600 with only pre-roll ads playing before it. It's pretty well known that videos in the personal finance niche demand a higher CPM rate from advertisers. So let's see how our channel on photography and filmmaking compares with this channel about making money online. I applied for monetization on Wednesday, August 19th, and was accepted shortly after. So I first enabled monetization on my videos on Thursday, August 20th. I don't like overlay ads or sponsor cards, so I leave those disabled. So it's been just over a month since I've enabled monetization, so let's see what I've earned. The first day I enabled monetization, that Thursday, I made $40.
Whoa! First thing off the back that I noticed is the CPM is $27, which is incredibly high. As you noticed in their other videos, it was like $5.50. So he's almost making 5 times more on the personal finance videos than they are on the photography videos. And their RPM is almost 10 times higher, about 10 times higher, which shows how much more you can make.
The first day I enabled monetization, that Thursday, I made $40. Now, after years of looking at Mango Street's less than stellar ad revenue, seeing $40 from one day on a small channel was really surprising. My first video published with monetization enabled was my print on demand video, and on that day, I earned $92.82. Things started to really take off when I posted a video about passive income. The day it went live, I earned $182. My biggest day so far was the following Monday when my video about saving money went live. I earned $236.73. So those are some really impressive numbers. So let's compare the last 28 days between Mango Street and this channel. Mango Street had 542,800 views compared with my 268,675 views. Mango Street's RPM was $3.69 and mine was $12.19. Mango Street's CPM was $11.96 and mine was $26.77. The ad revenue for Mango Street was $1,885.59 and mine was $3,054.76.
Wow, I am surprised that it's actually making more money. Like I mentioned earlier, I thought it would be similar. I was gonna first guess that he was making more money on this channel because it is personal finance, but 24,000 subscribers versus 1 million subscribers, that's like 40 times smaller. And so he's getting really good views on this smaller channel compared to their bigger channel. He's getting about half as many views, but he's making almost double, not quite double, like 1.5 times more, because the CPM and the RPM are so much higher for personal finance videos. Crazy.
Wow. So I was completely blown away that this smaller channel was making way more than my larger, more established channel. I received 49% fewer views, and yet I earned 62% more than the other channel. It's pretty clear that advertisers are willing to pay more for ads on videos on personal finance and things related to money. So even a smaller channel like mine can actually earn some pretty decent income. Okay, since Mango Street is my main source of income, you may be wondering how we survive when AdSense just pays us $1,500 a month. Well, our main source of income actually comes from brand deals. So generally a company or an agency will reach out to us, and if we like their product or service and we think it's a good fit for our channel and that our audience will like it too, and if they have a budget that works for us, then we can usually strike a deal. So these agreements that we sign generally don't allow us to tell you the fee that we get paid, but if you know some basic numbers, you can kind of get a ballpark figure. So when a YouTuber does a 45 to 60 second shout out in their video, the CPM rate for that is in the $20 to $40 range usually. So let's say you and the advertiser agree on a $30 CPM and your average view count is 100,000. Then you would get paid $3,000 for that shout out. Some deals may involve an affiliate commission paid out to that YouTuber so they can get a little bit something on the back end when their viewers sign up. Our deals rarely have an affiliate back end, like when you use our specific link to sign up for our new Squarespace site, we don't see any cut from that at all. It's basically just an analytic that Squarespace can track and see whether or not Mango Street is converting into sales for them. And that way they can decide whether to re-up their investment in advertising on our channel or if they should look elsewhere. So since Squarespace has offered us year-long contracts for the past 3 years, I think it's pretty safe to assume that we're hitting the numbers that Squarespace looks for, enough for them to keep reinvesting in us. Now that's just for a shout out. When we do a dedicated or integrated video where the whole video kind of revolves around a product, those demand much higher rates. As a YouTuber, you have to consider the actual product, how genuinely can you integrate it into a video that your viewers want to watch, and how will your audience feel about being sold to in that way. We try to approach these type of videos where we can incorporate our sense of humor so that our audience knows that while it is a sponsored video, we are going to keep you entertained. Like for this video for Intel, we made fun of the typical travel bro YouTuber.
I was like, a challenge? I'm always down for a challenge. We've got our Dell XPS 15 packed with a night.
These videos end up being some of the most fun to make and also the largest scope to produce. So for instance, in this other video for Intel, we rented a camper van and then drove up the West Coast with our dogs and the laptop they wanted promoted. It took 7 days and a ton of hours on the road, but it gave us a really memorable trip from which we released a really fun video and got a paycheck after all was said and done. We usually only do 3 to 5 of these kind of videos in a year because they are pretty exhausting to pull off in our style. We also don't want to be selling to our audience all the time because we know how annoying that can be. So as I mentioned, these kind of videos demand a higher rate. Depending on the budget and the scope and the brand, fees can be 3 to 20 times that of a normal shout out. If the budget available is larger, we put in more time and money into the production so that it makes it as fun to watch as possible. Now, of course, there are other revenue streams related to YouTube, but that's kind of outside the scope of this video. I really wanted to focus on AdSense and give you a sneak peek inside of how brand deals work.
It's super cool that Daniel is going into this much depth on how much brand deals pay. This is something that's super hush-hush in like a lot of the communities because they do sign non-disclosure agreements when they have brand deals. So it's really good for him to at least give them some ballpark numbers, like getting $3,000 for a 60-second shout out if you have 100,000 views. It's cool to see. It just gives us an idea of what you can expect and really shows that you can make a lot more money from the brand deals, and they can be a lot more reliable than the AdSense that he talked about earlier.
Ad revenue certainly isn't what it used to be before Adpocalypse, and creators in niches that aren't personal finance and the highest paying niches on YouTube can have a hard time finding ways to sustain themselves outside of AdSense, which is why a lot of them rely on brand deals. So next time when you're annoyed watching another sponsored YouTube video, let's get right into it. And thanks to Squarespace, hopefully you have a little bit more understanding of why it's necessary for them to take these kind of deals in order to sustain themselves. And you can always just fast forward. So I hope you enjoyed seeing the actual revenue from both of these channels. My goal is to be as transparent and open as I possibly can be. So if you have any other questions, let me know in the comments below. That's it for this one. See you in the next one.
Cool, so that's it for the video. As I mentioned, it's super crazy to see that his channel is making so much more than Mango Street is, but it is because those CPMs are higher. Depending on what videos or even in the area of like blogs and blog posts, the type of content you make is super important for the ad revenue that you can receive on it. Like someone that's watching a personal finance video, they're much more likely to spend money because they're interested in those type of things, and they're probably an older audience. Whereas if you're like advertising kids' toys or something, the kids can't really buy that, but they may tell their parents they want it and then they could buy it as well. I don't know what those CPMs are like, but I'm guessing they're lower than personal finance because those ads are directed right at the end user. So that's it for this video. If you liked it, thumbs up, subscribe, and you guys know what to do. We'll see you in the next one.